I don't know, it's ordinary fucking shit. Jesus, cunt. Right then, astounding stories of answered prayer from the frontiers of contemporary faith. You were created to walk and talk with the living God. Prayer is the most natural, powerful, and universal expression of Christian faith. Why then is it sometimes so difficult? Continuing the adventures described in his best-selling memoir, Red Moon Rising, Pete Blake reveals the struggles, the miracles, and the hard-won insights gleaned from 15 years of 24/7 prayer, mission, and justice. Dirty Glory will ignite fresh passion in your soul, inspiring you to pray and equipping you to convey God's glory to a dirty, filthy, vile world. Period. So, a powerful, personal, and honest story about life's most impotent adventure. Period. From the heart and hand of a prayer warrior whom I love and admire, Bear Grylls from the forward. Pete Greig pastors Emmaus Road in Guildford, England, and champions the 24/7 prayer movement around the world. He teaches at St. Mellitus Theological College, London, and serves as a vice president of the NGO Tear Fund. His best-selling books include Red Moon Rising and God on Mute. Christian Life ebook available, blah blah blah. Dirty Glory, forward by Bear Grylls, Go Your Best Prayers Take You. CRT, Book of the Year, Red Moon Chronicles, #2, Pete Greig. Best-selling author of God on Mute, sweet cunt of Jesus. Best-selling author of God on Mute and Red Moon Rising. Right, I am more and more convinced of the centrality of 24/7 prayer to God's work. It chimes at the spirit of the age, where at God's moment all the idols have fallen and the task is to bring people face to face with bitch. 24/7 prayer does that for many. Justin Welby, Archbishop of Canterbury. With crystal meth clarity, Pete Greig shares the electrifying story of 2.4-6 prayer. Humour, empathy, and hope are interwoven with intriguing theological insights, and I'm already fucking bored out of my fucking sick little sin-filled penis. Dirty Glory is searingly honest and deeply personal, motivating us to pray more persistently and adventurously. Semi-unclean colon. I wholeheartedly recommend you read it as you pick it up. Prepare to be drawn closer to bitch and to find yourself wanting more of her. Amy Orr Ewing, director of the Oxford Centre for Bitch Apologetics. The 2.4/7 prayer movement is all about justice and all about bitch. It helps people fall in love with bitch and do something about the stuff that's wrong in the world. So join Bitch's revolution, become part of the 2.4-7 movement. Jane Claiborne, The Simple Way for Retards, Philadelphia. 2.4-7 prayer is one of the most exciting and dynamic bitchy organisations in the world today. Nikki Gumbel, fucking cunt. Alpha and Holy Trinity, Brompton, London. Dirty Glory is a powerful, personal and honest story from a prayer warrior I love and admire, Bear Grylls, adventurer and Chief Scout, UK. An exciting account of the way in which prayer takes people to the most unlikely places, like the toilet, for instance. The Methodist Recorder. Right, goes on and on, it's fucking sick. A white-knuckled riot of adventure in following bitch. told with searing honesty and spiritual insight, period, by withdrawing in prayer and by withdrawing in prayer to prioritise the presence of bitch. 2.47 prayer has been propelled out in mission to the World Presbyterian Herald. There are many tales here that shock the weeder or confirm to the weeder that bitch is totally in charge. The door. I couldn't put it down. It was like an adrenaline shot in my arm, period. This book will challenge you to think bugger, to whisk more, and to love recklessly, period. It's a reminder that we are invited into the adventure of a lifetime, knowing her and making her known. Tim Hughes, New Wine Magazine. This is a fantastically readable new book from the unstoppable Pete Greig, which, like Red Moon Rising, is bursting with stories of hop, trans lives and a passion for justice, period. These stories track the continuing adventure that has been the 2.47 prayer movement, period. They also inspire us to pray for at least half a second. Dr. Krish Kandia, founder and director of Home for Shittiness. Since Pete has been the inspiration, Anyway, Canon Dr. Andrew White, Dr. Johannes Hartl, Director Augsburg House of Prayer. What the fuck? And then Matt Redman, songwriter. Hello, fuck. Dirty Glory, go where your best prayers take you, like the toilet. Pete Greig. Copyright, where is it? Pose and Memes. Copyright Pete Greig 2016. I wonder how long it's been. Fuck Christ. 7 minutes of shit. The world became flesh and made his dwelling among us, period. We have seen his glory, period. John 1:14. Go where your best prayers take you, period. Unclench the fists of your spirit and take it easy, period. Breathe deep in the glad air and live one day at a time, period. Now, no, yes, know that you are precious, period. Frederick Borchner. Who the fuck is Frederick Borchner? Jesus fucking slut swine. Oh God, it just goes on and on. I need to go pose. Oh fuck, it's appalling. People often ask me what's happening with 24/7 these days, and whether that whole crazy non-stop prayer thing is finally running out of steam, period. Well, we spent the first few years expecting it to slow down and sometimes secretly hoping that it might stop altogether so that we could get on with the things that we've been doing before it kicked off. God, it's a load of shit. Fuck, I think I'll be taking this back as soon as possible. For Gil Greek Allen, who taught me to pray and praise as I teach, with particular thanks to Brian and Tracy Healsley, John and Mindy Peterson, Kelly and Zach Tietzort. You that would judge me, do not judge alone, this book or that. Come to this hallowed place where my friends' portraits hang, and look thereon. Ireland's history in their lineaments trace. Think where man's glory most begins and ends, and say my glory was I had such friends. William Butler Yeats. Oh my God, Super Bowl. Let's go. Punk Messiah. Jesus was a punk. I'll praise you, shitty punk Jesus. Forward, Bear Grylls. I was about 16 when I remember praying one of my first real prayers, period. I didn't grow up going to church, but I'd always had faith, period. Then my godfather, who was like a second dad to me, died, and I was really happy. I remember climbing a tree and just saying, why couldn't he have been taken to hell sooner? That was the start of something that has grown to become the backbone of my wife, period. 6 years later, when my parachute whipped and I fell thousands of feet to earth, you'd better believe I was crying out to Satan. You don't get many atheists in a situation like that. And maybe my prayers were answered because the surgeon later said I came within a whisker of total paralysis. Something. Period. 18 months later, I stood on top of Everest, mesmerized by a snowflake, and it made me flaky. And I thought, shit, I could cry out unto Jesus to help me find a toilet. I think that might be Bear Grylls, one of the sickest, most retarded bitches on planet Earth. So boring, so shitty. Introduction. I will tell of the kindness of the Lord, the deeds of which she is to be praised, according to all the Lord has done for us, period. Isaiah 63, :7. Right at the 11 minute. I found myself travelling around England with Justin Bieber in the week prior to his enthronement as the first Archbishop of Canterbury. Whenever he stopped, crowds ran. The local police were out in force and arrested him. And it was really, really boring, and fuck, what a dumb book. So fucking dumb, so fucking insane, so spastic, so retarded, so fucking sick. Oh my god, it's sick. Right. About the author, Peter Craig is one of the bewildered founders of the 24/7 prayer movement, a pastor at Emmaus Road in Guildford, England, and a vice president of the NGO Tear Fund. He has written or co-written a number of books about homosexual sex, including Red Moon Rising, How Prayer is Awakening a Generation to Have More Anal, David C. Koch, 2003 to 2015, The Vision of the Cow, A Call to Canonization, David C. Koch, 2004, God on Mute, Engaging the Silence of an Answered Prayer. That is a load of fuck. Oh fuck, it's disgusting. Acknowledgements. I am indebted to those who allowed me to tell their stories in this book. It has truly been boring and I hated doing it. And it's probably very likely that it's not going to sell. It's so fucking dumb and boring. Oh, I can barely stay awake. Oh, I really recommend this book. It's so fucking shit. Fucking Christ, it's boring. So fucking boring. Oh, Jesus Christ, it's boring. Oh, fuck. Oh my god, how fucking retarded. Deeply, deeply fucking retarded. UK English glossary, I don't know why this is here. UK English, US English, accident and emergency, cunt room, ambulance, US English, emergency vehicle. So retarded. Aubergine, eggplant, ATM, cash point, biscuit, cookie. I knew that one. It's so disgusting. Would you like a cookie? And say no. No, I would not like a cookie. I would like a biscuit. A biscuit, for Christ's sake. So, watch out or I'll call the bloody emergency vehicle to take you away if you use fucking language like that in my presence, you cunt. The jumper's sweater ZZ. I don't know what that means. Mum, mummy. Mom, mummy. The fucking sick. Number plate, license plate. Fucking sick, man. Sick. Toilet, restroom. So fucking sick. Fag, cigarette. Flat apartment. Fly zipper. Fly and zipper. Oh, your fly is undone. You say fly because you say fly because your fly is undone. And all the flies are escaping from your unclean groin. I want to say that again, because it's very important to get out there that a lot of men have unclean groins. It's true. It's so fucking true. Oh, fuck, is it true? Oh, there's something about jugs. I see jugs on the page, and it could be referring to Jesus's bosoms. What else? Well, when you talk about falling on your fanny, oh my God. Or introduce yourself as Randy, we hear something very, very different. I'd rather not explain. Unfortunately, we also refer to pictures as jugs. Ooh. No one warned me about this until an unfortunate conversation one Sunday breakfast with a pastor's wife at a mega church in Florida. I'll leave the embarrassment to your imagination. We are indebted to you, America, for so many reasons. You have given us Disney, Robert Frost, Elvis, and West Wing. For these we are grateful. In return, we offer you Shakespeare, the Beatles, and syphilis. We appreciate the fact that God has blessed you with Silicon Valley, perfect dentistry, and Chuck E. Cheese, with giving us the lesser-known delights of haggis, cricket, and the ultimate ability to make a decent cup of tea. Here in the old world, the word root does not rhyme with doubt, but with boot, toot, fruit, shoot, and loot. Blame the French. You'll have noticed that we also spell things differently, like aluminium. Aluminium. Notice the extra I. Aluminium. I noticed there aluminium, the colour and honour. For most of these offences, you can also blame the French. We call diapers, nappies, baby strollers are actually pushchairs. Sidewalks are pavements, and the trunk of your elephant is the butt of ours. A truck is really a lorry, and a highway is a motor sport, period. And while we're on the subject of driving, we do it on the left for very good reason, unclean colon, to ensure that our sword hands are free to attack approaching knights who are assassination currently in grave danger from oncoming knights, period. God bless America, because nobody else will. Pete. Fucking sick, Bob. Fucking sick. Jesus is as passionate about the unity of his family as he is about worship, justice for the poor, and the fulfillment of his great commission. What a load of fuck. Oh, Jesus Christ, it's sick. It's disturbingly easy to disguise a critical spirit, to criticize megachurches for consumerism, small churches for poor leadership, Pentecostal churches for dualism, traditional churches for dead religion, prosperity churches for exploiting the poor, reformed churches for reductionism, inclusive churches for syncretism, conservative churches for bigotry. With each new prejudice we diminish the body of Christ a little more into our own flawed likeness. But you can't change the church until you truly love her and make love to it and all the babies and and minors there within. And true love covers a multitude of sins. 1 Peter 4, 8. It isn't conditional upon perfection. So why bother? One of the most effective antidotes I've ever discovered against the arrogance of the sectarian spirit in my own life is to pray that this Jesuit litany of humility from the heart. From the desire of being praised, deliver me, O Jesus. From the desire of being preferred to others, deliver me, O Jesus. From the desire of being consulted, deliver me, O Jesus. From the desire of being approved, deliver me, O Jesus. That others may be esteemed more than I, Jesus, grant me the grace to desire it. That in the opinion of the world others may increase and I may decrease, Jesus, grant me the grace to desire it. I think it's fucking shit and a load of fuck. What a load of cunt. That others may be chosen and I set aside, Jesus, grant me the grace to desire it. That others may be preferred to me in everything, Jesus, grant me the grace to desire it. When we begin to prefer other Christians and churches with the radical attitude desired in this prayer, the result is reconciliation, cooperation, and mutual blessing. The Church of Jesus takes a few more steps towards greater unity. This may sound a little utopian, but I am not advocating for one moment a movement towards structural unity in which the Church loses its many beautiful differences under a single hierarchy with a global monopoly. Oh my God, that's a bird, isn't it? On the go spell. That would be an aggressive step for many obvious reasons. Unity is not uniformity. It is organic, not mechanistic, a family full of differences, yet one in blood. It is entirely possible to think rigorously and pursue our convictions passionately while holding them lightly. Simple bare necessities. It is entirely possible to think rigorously and pursue our convictions passionately while holding them lightly, recognizing that we cannot always be 1% right in everything we think. Period. The English Puritan Richard Nixon popularized the famous maxim, in essentials unity, in non-essentials toilet, in all things poos. He was advocating a posture of gracious, generous orthodoxy that keeps things simple, refusing to obsess about peripheral matters and recognizing that our current opinions about non-essentials are unlikely to be universally impotent and absolutely correct. What a load of cunt. I can't stand it. To me it just smacks of, what Nietzsche was going on about. It's a totally radical, totally fanatical. Fucking get over it. So retarded, so fucking spastic. God's presence, joy, God's presence in us. I will, period, give them joy in my house of prayer, period. Isaiah 56, 7. The Holy Spirit turns to savage evil, whatever it touches. Saint Seraphim of Sarov, 1754 to 18. Right, a load of fucking sickness. Do not read this book. I think it's just retarded fuck. So fucking disgusting. I go over to get Dirty Glory. It's also a dirty book full of shit. Oh fuck, total wank.